So often happens on mixers like this, often you will see on mixers of the same price range, they say this, that the effect sometimes even the hardware is acceptable, but then the effect is not really that one that you want. And so you go to buy another one, maybe a very small one. And these are the main points of the success point, the main features of M series. Even to give a bag, a padded trolley bag, to give also the accessories included to mount it on rack, and all these aspects gave us the opportunity to have a nice success. For example, also the compressors on the channels, as you can also see here, we have the 1622 USB by side here, and also the fact that in this price range, the other mixer normally on the stereo channels are using just a pad, not a gain. So stereo channel you can just switch minus or plus depending on the model's 20 dB. But here in this case you have really the same channel strip of the microphone channels. Okay? And just a double input, left and right. Okay? So with one slider you will go up and down as all the stereo channels on two left and right channels. And this is done. But as you can see, you will keep the same filters of the microphone channels. So this is not a news. I just remember it to you which are the key points of this mixer, the success that gave us success, and the quality of the effect. So good preamplifiers, a very good effect, a big availability of microphone channels. So if you don't use the stereo channels, you can full fit the channels with microphones, and it's very useful because sometimes there are dealers or end users that just for two microphones more that sometimes you could have in your band or in your small installation, you have to jump on a much more bigger mixer, no? Like a 20 or 24 channel. In this case, this is always to remember. Look at that here. If you want, you can fully fit the channels with microphones. Maybe, you have no phantom power. So if you have some condenser, you should place the condenser microphone on the pool microphone channels. On this other, you can place all the other microphones, like dynamic microphones, that don't need phantoms. Okay. This is M series. I don't know if you have any questions. The main focus today is not to introduce this because this is not more news. Just I will show you, we have some combos. So where the mixer is smaller, we have not the opportunity to place XLR plus jack, so we put a combo that allows you to plug microphones even in the smaller sizes. Okay? The positioning, let's say that in the world of the mixers, we are going in this range. Maybe you can tell to us, okay, you are not known like as Soundcraft, you are not known as Yamaha. Maybe you could be known as FPT. Okay, but let's say that in terms of quality, we stay here. We are offering a high quality. So we stay a little bit, a step over the entry-level market. Okay? This is to remember. And then we agree with you that we are not a known brand in the mixed world. But our goal is not to go on the market to show to the others that our mixers are better. No, we are just complying to some needs. So if you have a customer that is not having Behringer, is not having some other brands, or wants also by-side Behringer or other brands, an alternative, because sometimes there are customers who say, okay, everyone is having the same mixer, I would like a different mixer. Is that so you have a better and bigger range of products to offer them, okay? But don't be worried to tell to them that the audio quality is the audio quality of a mid positioning, a mid-level, okay? Then, M series, because many customers asked us, okay, M series, you intentionally decided to not go absolutely into entry level because you are not so strong like Behringer, like others, okay? But we really need. This was some customers in Europe, many of them in South America. They told to us, sometimes we really need to deliver a cheaper mixer, and we would like to stay still on Proel mixer. How we can solve this problem? So let's say that MI series is not our idea, it's more a request of the market. It's more a request of some of our best distributors. And so they asked us, reduce the price of M series, so that one, okay, the good one, reduce the price, take it out, everything is not affecting the audio quality. Because M series in the past was very known because audio quality. So you plug, you go up with your volume, and wow, the voice sounds really good. Effect, wow, even the effect is very good. So, if it's so, we decided to take out the sliders. We decided to take out the big rubber-like sides, and we put just a small one, just to recognize that it's not a traditional mixer, but it's not just a copied mixer, it's really an original design mixer. We took out the bag, the trolley bag. Even this is also padded and reinforced, so it's affecting the cost. And even the accessories. So, taking out all these things, accessories, bag, sliders, so we put just knobs, we was able to keep the same audio quality and offer to our distributors a much cheaper range of mixers. Okay? As you can see, why we are keeping the effect, because effect is not so cheap. Because we promised we had to comply the main request, keep a good audio quality. So if we was going to change to take a standard effect, because you know, if you go in China, there are thousands of effects already done, already programmed, already you have just to put it inside your mixer and everything is working. But in that cases, we had we was going to reduce the quality of the audio. Okay, and so as you can see, this is to show you how we really did all our best to keep the audio quality. So M series, good audio quality in the mid-level range of the market. And so very interesting price if you are going to compare our mixer there. MI series, the same audio quality, but really without no added value in terms of how to say facilities, in terms of some useful tools, but only keeping the audio quality. Okay? So then, thanks to this, we decided to stop just to deliver 3 kinds of models. But last year, someone asked us to introduce a much more smaller and bigger. And here we have an exception, because as I explained before, we decided to put out the sliders and to introduce the knobs to reduce the price. But when again our customers asked us an FI series but with more channels, we was able to introduce the same sliders of the M series, because on this size maybe it makes sense to keep sliders. Okay, so all what I explained before is still true for MI5, but for MI16 it's not true about the sliders, because we kept the same sliders of M series. Okay? Do you have any questions on this? Is everything clear? This was just a recapping. We are speaking here about all the news of 2015 for P and March 2015. If my English is not so understandable, please stop me, correct me, even Asna is correcting me. You know, it's still the same of last year in my English, so it's still my spaghetti English. I like it. Okay. Now, there is, this is, let's say, the market position of MI series, okay? Of course, if M series was here, with MI, we are moving in the entry level. So we are going here, And here, the situation is not exactly the same. In every country, could change something. So it will be very useful to have also some feedbacks by you, because you are managing other brands, and so it could be interesting to share with you some information. Okay? But to be honest, in terms of audio quality, you can also say that maybe we are still here. But considering the whole product, it is more correct to say here we are going in the entry level. So the first price, okay, in the shops. Now, there is an important news. This news looks important to us because we are not a known brand in mixers. We are not a company that is making only mixers like Soundcraft or Apple. And so this looks really important news. We decided to develop a large format mixer, and specifically 2 models. So we decided not to make just a little bit bigger M series. As you remember, the previous M series had a 20 channel. We stopped producing the 20 channel because we don't have a big deal on this. So we have not so a big business on the 20 channel. But it is also true that M series is on another market. Is working, is going, is aimed, let's say this, it's aimed to another market. In the large format mixer, we never was there. So instead to make just a larger M20 and 24, we decided to make really a professional approach, large size mixer. And so this year we have introduced MLX 2842 and MLX 3640. And behind you, you have one of them. So you can also go there to touch with your finger this mixer. And what we have to explain here on this, where MLX could be interesting for you. So, first, let's say this. In a time where the big players are no more investing in the analog mixers, in the time where you can really find a lot of entry-level digital mixers, it's no more like 4 or 5 years ago. Today, we really have some interesting entry-level mixers. Interesting because then you can also save some money on the stage box, so it's no more needed the big snake with the stage box, the fun tile, the blind. So a digital mixer could be very interesting. But in this time, someone told us, look at some North African countries, some Middle East countries, South America countries, they told us, look at, because we are managing your catalog, it will be very interesting to have something that costs 50% of an entry-level digital mixer. That should be analog, for the reasons. To have a good mixer that costs less than a cheap digital mixer, sometimes this is a very important need. Someone is happy to see that an X32 costs so less compared to what happened in the past, but is still not having the right budget to buy it, so I need a large format, much more convenient, much more cost effective. Another important reason is not forgot is that someone is worried about digital mixers. And it's not a personal worry, how to say, it's not a personal, this is more sometimes also a worry of the owner of a rental company, because if you have a show and you have some X32 or M32 or some other mixers, let's say first price mixers, sometimes you don't find the sound engineer. Oh, sorry, I cannot come because I don't know exactly an X32. I have to spend some couple of hours to learn how it is organized, this mixer. I'm so sorry, I cannot come to it. So this is the main reason why some, let's say, small, small rental company are still having the need to have a good analog mixer. Okay? Because in that case, okay, let's go with an analog mixer. Because small levels, you have not to comply a rider, a technical rider. So you can really decide if these elements should be managed with an X32 because you have your skilled guys behind this mixer, so let's go with X32. But sometimes you don't have your hands because there is a parallel element. No? So all these reasons are behind